So we're supposed to start with the speaking part 2. What is the part 2 called? It's known as independent long term or cue card, and which goes for around 3 to 4 minutes. Now here in the part 2 of this speaking, we're actually given a cue card. Why this is known as cue card is because we actually get a cue card over here. Okay, cue card. What is a cue card? The meaning of the word cue is hint. So it's known as hint card. You can say that as cue card, which is cue actually means hint. So we can also call this as hint card. So why this is called as hint card, we'll try to understand. Actually what happens over here, a question is given to us. So here the question is given to us, and in this question we have some hints given to us. Okay, what hints are given to us? Something that will see. The part 2 of the speaking is the part where you get 1 minute of preparation. So the examiner will give you this question card, the small question card, and along with it a blank sheet of paper and a pen or a pencil. Now the examiner will give you 1 minute of preparation time. The examiner has a timer. Okay, he or she will start the timer and will say, now you have 1 minute to prepare notes on this question in this blank sheet of paper. Okay, so in this 1 minute we have to prepare notes. So in the part 2 it actually depends upon how well you are able to make notes in this 1 minute, so that you are able to answer for 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, now after this 1 minute the examiner will take this sheet, this pen or pencil, whatever it is, that thing, and the cue card from you. But the sheet where you have made notes will still be there with you. Okay, the place where you have made the notes will be there for you for your reference, so that you can refer to it while you're delivering your answer. Now the examiner will ask you to start speaking, and once you start speaking, you have to go on speaking. You will have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, so when should I stop? You don't have to stop by yourself. You have to go on speaking until the examiner says thank you. When will the examiner say thank you? That is completely dependent on the discretion of the examiner. Examiner can ask you to stop any time between 1 to 2 minutes. That can be 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, or even the examiner might ask you to speak for entire 2 minutes. That is completely on the discretion of the examiner. Alright, so it is actually completely dependent on how do we utilize this 1 minute to prepare notes on this question in this answer sheet. Now, let's try to understand the format of the question. So the question will be something like this. They'll say describe, and a topic will be given. Related to this topic, you will have 3 bullet points, followed by an explain question. Okay. For example, describe an important conversation that you had with someone you should say what was it about, whom it was with, when did it take place. Explain what impact did this conversation have on you or your life? Right. So this will be the structure of your answer. Describe, a situation will be given to you, followed by you should say, which is followed by again three questions, three WH questions. And at the end you will have explain. So the first question is what? See, the problem is people who are not able to expand much on this, your intention should be either speak 15 to 20 seconds for each bullet points, or in total for all the bullet points speak for 45 to 60 seconds. Now what do I mean by this? Sometimes it will happen that you will be able to speak for 40 minutes for one bullet point and 20 seconds for the other two bullet points. Even that is fine. So you can either make sure that the sum of all the three bullet points, the sum of the time that you're consuming for all the three bullet points is nearly 1 minute, or for each bullet points you can spend 15 to 20 seconds, whichever is feasible for you. Now when you come to the explain part means you have to elaborate more on this. Right? Explain means what? You have to explain means it has to be elaborated more. You have to speak more on this. So the rest of the time until the examiner says thank you, the rest of the time has to be dedicated to explain part. Okay. So that's what we'll try to do. Now since you don't have timer with you on the exam day, you have to practice beforehand so that you know how much does it mean to speak for 2 minutes. Okay, so your mind, you have to train your mind to know how much should you, like how to know that you are done with 1 minute now. So that will only come through a lot of practice. The more you practice, the more you will be able to gauge that you have already spoken for 1 minute, and now you have to start the explanation part. So let's see how we could have generated ideas on this. The first question over here says what. So what am I going to do now is what you have to do on the exam day. See, it's not possible to make sentences. Would it be wise, guys, to make sentences in that 1 minute that we have in hand? How many sentences can we write in that 1 minute? No, so it wouldn't be fine to make sentences, right? So what we have to do is, in the 1 minute of preparation time that we get, we have to jot down points, or we can write bullets, which will keywords basically, which will help us to generate ideas. You can just take a glance of those keywords that you have written on the sheet, and you can generate ideas and you can speak. That will give you a hint of what you have to speak, right? So this is what we can actually do. Now, a person like me who has, I don't remember of indulging in an important conversation with anyone, so I'll try to make up ideas. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So what the conversation was about. So let's say the conversation was about IELTS exam. Now I want all your attention. Just see how do I jump from one point to the other. How do I relate, and what will allow you to make or to maintain the flow in your answers. Just pay attention. Now keep questioning yourself why and why. It will keep you moving through the next choices, I mean through the next points. IELTS. So you were talking about IELTS. Now why were you discussing about IELTS? Because you're planning to move to a foreign country. Okay, planning to, the purpose can be immigration for general training candidates, education for academic candidates. Now why do you want to immigrate or pursue education in foreign country? So immigration, why? If you're saying immigration, why? Education, why? Okay, then reason why this particular country. Why do you immigrate to why do you want to immigrate, and why do you want to immigrate to only this country? Okay, so reason for country, right? So you can here write some reasons why you are immigrating to a foreign country. Next is whom it was with and when did it take place. Now next you will write whom it was with. So let's say your cousin. Again ask yourself why with this cousin, because he's already someone who is living in this country. Or let's say if you are going for education purpose, so you can say that this cousin of yours has already pursued his higher education from the same stream that you want to pursue and from the same country. Okay, so has pursued from same country. So since he has pursued it from the same country, he can give you a better insight about the admission process. Okay, or in sequence, let's say you will first shortlisting and then admission process, right? So shortlisting the universities, being in India, you don't know which universities top the list or which would be the best university for a certain stream to pursue your higher education from. So this cousin of yours, since he has already pursued his foreign education from the same country, so he might give you an insightful picture about the countries, about the universities over there, which university would be good for this particular stream in this particular country that you are planning to move to. Okay, and also the person would be able to guide you through the admission process. Being in a country, being in India, and initiating the admission process from here might be a bit of hassling, might be a hassle of a process. So, if your person, if he is already staying over there, he can explain, he can help you with the admission process and all, right? Now, when did this take place? So, when you are talking about when, you can say that since you have already stated in the previous point as one of the points in the previous point in the previous question, that this person already stays in a country, in some foreign country. So you can say that he has recently returned. Why did he return again? Question yourself why. Because you can say of the COVID-19. Okay. So why did he have to return? Because you can mention the reason of return. So when did you meet him? I met him, let's say. Now, here comes another thing into the picture. The three WH questions that are given to us in this question, the three WH bullets are: what the conversation was about, who the conversation was with, and when did this conversation take place. Now, out of the other bullet points, what are left? Where is not there? Right, we have 6 WH questions. Where is not there? Which is not there? And what else is not there? Why is not there? So there are 3 questions that are not here in the 3 bullet points that are given to us. So can we include the information of all these 3 bullet points? Yes, why not? So let's say the where question is not there in the bullets that are given to us. So we can include where. So reason of return. So where did you meet him? You can say that at your home. Now why is it at your home? Because let's say he came to attend some kind of a festival or some particular thing he came to, or he said visited after a long time, he wanted to visit you, or you had called him to your place to discuss these important things. Now why? So okay, can we answer why over here? Why question we have already taken as the first bullet point. We have discussed about the reason why. Now what other thing can we discuss over here is why do we consider, okay, under why we can consider, why do we consider this as an important conversation. Now the question asks you to talk about an important conversation, so we can say why do we consider this conversation as an important conversation. So people who are going for the education purpose, they might include a point over here saying that since the future plan is to stay in the same country from where they'll be pursuing their education, it's a stern decision to take and definitely requires much of mind boggling or thinking over it, pondering, okay, or contemplating the situation. So you have to discuss regarding these things with your parents, with your other things. You have to discuss a lot of things in a country like India, which does not support dual citizenship. It's also very important that in the future course of your life, you're planning to immigrate or you're planning to become a permanent residency of that country. So it has to be a well decided decision, or a well a well thought decision. It has to be right. So it had to be discussed with all those people. And what impact did it have? Now at last, when we come to the explain, here we can talk about what impacts did it have. Now here you can discuss about the reaction of your parents. You can say what your parents told about it, what your parents agreed, your mother, your father, or the other people in your life, whoever it is. Did they support you, or what did they say, and how did you react according to it, and what preparations did you start making about it? what influence did it have on your life. So you had to look at things from the different perspective. You had to make preparations for it, and like from now onwards, the future course to make things happen or to execute the things that would happen in the next few over the course of next few months or days. The things had to be you had to start up preparing things as of now, right, from now onwards. So you had started taking steps every day towards making it, like your preparation for the IELTS exam and other things, right, knowing more about the country that you're planning to, and then gaining more insight about the colleges and other things. This is what we can talk about in the explain part. Now, so what is the learning of it, or let's say what is the key takeaway from this answer that I am trying to put forward over here? The learning is that if you are running short of the points, take the other WH questions. Like every time we have only 3 bullet points. So out of this, we have 6 WH questions, right? Out of the 6 WH questions, only 3 are used as the bullet points in the question. So the other 3 WH questions which are not present in the questions, in the hints that are given to you, the cue card, you can take those 2 to include ideas of them. You can include the answer of the other 3 questions in as the answer of any 3 bullet points. You can include the information about this under any 3 bullet points. This is the first thing that we have learned. And how to move from one point to the other, keep on questioning yourself why, and asking yourself why to one point will lead you to the next point, right?